Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia for the running of the WestRock 500, race number 9 of 35 in the NASCAR Xcel Energy Cup Series season. This short track is not afraid to produce a lot of beating and banging, and smaller fuel cells and higher wear on the tires here means that we will see multiple pit stops in this race, which really comes down to keeping your car off the walls and others, and having good stops. Take a look at your field of 40 for today's race. On pole, the 39 of Austin Delgado last in points, trying to turn his season around to his outside Jay Jefferson. Brady Berghardt, he's another driver having a poor season as well. He's in third. Jari Matti Haapalainen, after being screwed over by a glitch at Trenton, trying to rebound. DJ Hanley in fifth. He's put together some good races recently. Cody Savage to his outside. We have Logan Cloud, another guy who's having a poor season, trying to turn it around. Antoine Smith. Dane Cruz, Dragos Kings. These two are teammates, and I believe they round out the top 10. Then you have Austin Theriot, who was your points leader for a while, but now is not trying to turn this around and maybe take it back. Hector Carneros, who's outside. Gabriel Durand, Nick Perez, Matthew Town, Brandon Morris, Skylar Dixon, Noah Breeze, Dylan Jacobs, Matthew Eves, Noah Robb, Logan Bradley, Nick Bergwald, Eric Darnell, Zachary Bilson, Zachary Fitzwater, Julio Caesar, Tib Foster, Trey Fisher, Taylor Fry, Jacob Rose, Preston Emmons, Danica Matthew, Patrick Smith. Your points leader, they'll have to come from the back today. It's Robbie Webb. Teddy Kari, another dominant car at Trenton, but got screwed over. Ryan Preece, Matthew Eves, James Busher, who starts last. Second to last, Dominic Carlone. Let's get the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
The field of 40 here will roar to life for 100 laps around this just over half-mile oval. Flat banking means it'll be a lot of interesting racing here, and they're not afraid, like I said, to get into one another. Didn't mention it in the lineup, but Matthew Eves starts in the back as well. He won last week out in Trenton. The WestRock 500 is underway. Coming off of turn number 1, Delgado out to the early lead, as he has it over Brady Berghardt as well. The outside line, not the place you really want to be at this track, as Jay Jefferson already fallen out to 4th, as TJ Hanley's underneath him. He works on him for 3rd. Antoine Smith as well. Dane Cruz, they're trying to get up on these battles, as Cody Savage has a hole. He'll be able to get down to the inside line. Haapalainen did force the issue. He's going to block Cruz. Savage couldn't get there. They're going to be 3 wide off the corner. It's just a little tight, but they make it work. Haapalainen was able to muscle his way in. Jefferson had the door left open to him by Smith. However, leading Austin Delgado, he had a tough crash at Minnesota. Really hard hit. Basically head on into the wall in turn number 3, but a similar shaped track. This track's about half the size of Minnesota, and it's a little bit more flat, but he's really making it work today on the short tracks. This might be where he's strong this season. But looks like he's feeling pressure from that zero. Brady Berghardt, the Jay Jefferson's team, JJ Motorsports, is running strong. 2nd, 4th, and 11th. There's Brandon Morris, who's arguably one of the worst drivers on the team. He's fairly down there in points, just like his teammate Brady Berghardt, but these two are having better races so far this season. And I guess Matthew Eves wasn't as far down the order as I thought, because he is all the way up to 13th, so Matthew really putting in the work today. But up front, it's still single file, and Delgado starting to pull away. Let's get the ticker up here on lap number 7. Boy, if we want to talk about two teams that have not had the best of seasons, you got JJ Motorsports, like I mentioned. But then again, Urban Stewart Motorsports, a team that has been very quiet outside of notably the Ice Bowl, where Nick Bergwald came just oh so close to winning after being screwed over because the caution did not come out in time. Robbie Webb was able to repass him and get the win of that Crown Jewel event. But Austin Delgado trying to get Urban Stewart their first win as the other his teammates, you could say, they are not having the best of days. There's Dylan Jacobs all the way down in 31st. Nick Bergwald, they're both on the outside, so that's really hurt them. He's in 35th. Robbie Webb, your points leader as well. He's back there in about 33rd, 34th as well. So, very tough day for some of these guys. So notably in the back, Las Vegas winner Kev Shearer as he tries to get under 0.5 with Taylor Fry. Ooh, a little close there off the corners. They were 3 wide. Busher! The 2 last place cars in the field get sent around. Are we going to have a caution? I don't think we will. No caution, but James Busher just got turned by Tib Foster. 3 wide here back in the pack. You got Fitzwater underneath Bradley and Priest. They bumped down the straightaway, keeping it clean so far, but it's going to be tough, especially being this close throughout the back. They're keeping it clean. We've got a lot of professionals in this field. There's Delgado in relation to Busher, so he might be lapped, but it'll be tough to see as we're already on lap 13 of 100. Short lap times here. Let's take a look. Delgado does have the fastest lap at a 20.354. So yes, they do. They get in about 3 seconds a lap, so this race should go by fairly quickly. Taking a look back, Brandon Morris is into the top 10. He's 9th. Veron 10th. Skylar Dixon, another guy that we didn't talk about much this season. He was up there at Texas World, however. He's made his way up. He's in 11th. The best John Rolson racing car is obviously his teammate Robbie Webb's the one leading the points. And looking back through the field again. Off the corner, there's Nick Perez, one of your early points leaders. He's had a couple bad races recently as he's got damage to the side of his Mazda, but he's already having a better day than usual, 25th, but he's really kind of hit a, once the season kind of got rolling, he's kind of hit a slump while other drivers have improved. So tough day, so another arguably tough day for him, but there's still a lot of racing left to go as Robbie Webb stuck on the push to the outside once again. So he hit the pace car there, but Kev Shearer, one of the winners as well, toward the back of the field. He's not done much as Preston Emmons almost slid into the quarter panel and Zachary Fitzwater gets turned. Fitzy gets turned, almost comes up into Logan Bradley. They're going to hit through the corner, but the over 300 win career on NR 2003 for Zachary Fitzwater doesn't look like he'll get one today as he gets heavy left side damage after being turned into the wall. Let's get a replay here real quick. Tough day for his Fitzwater Australia Racing Dodge as Robbie Webb, coming off the corner, just hooks him. Tough break for the 59 as these guys are still 3 wide. A little too close for comfort back in the field. And Austin Delgado leads. He's got 0.6 of a second gap over Brady. Does he stretch it? No. Brady closed by 0.06, so we might be seeing a battle here. Let's go on board to 0. You can tell from the onboard cameras of Brady Burkhart's Mountain Dew Pitch Black Toyota Camry that the stands here at Martinsville are full. They love the short track racing, and there hasn't been a whole lot of banging and banging just yet. Obviously, the 2 spins toward the back of the field, but outside of that, everybody, especially at the front, has kept it clean, as it's over 5 seconds from first to 10th. So you can tell that the better performing cars up at the front are the ones pulling away. Take a look. Logan Cloud, I believe, was one of the guys that started on the outside line. I'm not sure, though. I mean, we could take a look at our lineup. Again, yes, Cloud started 8th, and he's back down to 16th as Cody Savage days ended. He had an engine issue, but the outside definitely hurt some of these guys, like Drago's King as well. He's down 8 spots. Ray Fisher takes a higher line. That might not be the best, as he came in a little bit too hot through the corner. But it looks like a lot of the front has mellowed out. It's a tough track to pass on, but Brady Burkhart still putting the pressure on Delgado. He's consistently closed the gap. And it'll be interesting to see if in 10 or so laps he might be able to catch him. It's a game awaiting. Will we see a caution? It's surprisingly clean so far, like I mentioned. Usually in the test races that I did here, that there has been multiple cautions by now, but luckily these guys are keeping it clean for the main event. The entire field is single file, something I don't think we've seen yet today, and James Busher doesn't look like he is the car that will be threatened to be lapped first, as he's been gaining time on the back of the field. He was really splitting, but now he has basically gotten very close to the back of Bergwald compared to where he was. Tim Foster, the person who spun Busher early on, he's still back in about 37th, so he's not having a good day. Ryan Preece, he's got side damage. Something might have happened to him. Or contact with another car. He may have gotten Fitzwatered and turned into the inside wall somewhere. But Delgado doesn't seem too far back from the leaders, as Brady has closed about a 10th in the last 5 or so laps, so the Zero car's definitely catching him. And Austin Theriot, someone that we really haven't talked about much in recent races. It's cost him the points lead, but he's back up in 8th, and Robbie Webb having a poor day. This could help Theriot try and take that lead back, but Matthew Eves thought about a look underneath Skylar Dixon, but Eric Darnell is committed. He's going to get by the 5 of Noah Robb. Unless Robb fights back on the outside, something we really don't see at this track, and he won't, but might fall into the outside line trap, you could say, but Town does not make the move on him. And Robb's still pressuring Darnell. So as Burkhart continues the chase on Delgado, we are going to take a commercial break from the WestRock 500 at Martinsville. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a couple laps. Caution is out at the Martinsville Speedway. Jari-Matti Haapalainen is on pit road, but is that the cause of this caution? We will have to see, but something we need to watch. The stack up here, some cars could get damaged as the field slows up and basically piles in, trying to slow down for the yellow. They're keeping it somewhat clean so far, as, ooh, maybe a contact back there with Dylan Jacobs, but looks like this time, I saw it in the multiple test races that I have done, that there had been a bunch of stack-ups, and seeing a lot of guys got damaged, but coming down pit road is everyone. Pit strategy will be interesting to watch, as we'll get a replay of what happened with Haapalainen and why he's on pit road after the stops, but as the leaders dive in, Who is going to play what strategy? Like 4 tires and fuel for everyone as Happalainen retires from the race. Another tough day for the 27. Delgado with a good stop, and looks like the order might be the same as the camera is being dumb. I believe the order is the exact same from what they came in. Except maybe back here with Durant. I believe Durant played some strategy. But yeah, it looks like no gain, no loss coming down pit road for anybody. But let's get a replay of what happened to the 27. Oh man, first, real logjam coming out of pit road here, but that's what happens on this really short track. You never know what might happen. As what are these guys doing? Bergwald have some issues, or is there just a queuing problem, or where's the pace car? The game's weird, but I don't think Fitzwater's leading. Oh, is it because of the single file restarts? Are we gonna have one of these? But we'll see. We'll get back to you after we take a look at the 27's incident. Coming down the front straightaway, it was Happalainen, and suddenly, bang! The engine grenades on his Mazda, putting oil all over the track, and he tried to bring it in, tried to bring it down for pit road, just couldn't find a spot, and that car stopped on the track. They knew they had to throw the yellow. He just couldn't certainly get by, as a lot of cars scraped the outside wall trying to get down. But that's why the 27 really is undamaged. He just doesn't have an working engine in the car anymore. Now, let's go back to the restart. And back to you here at the restart. Now, Zachary Fitzwater is not the leader because of the single-file restart policy. This is the battle for the lead, and Burkhardt takes advantage of a poor restart from Delgado, and Brady Burkhardt's going to take the lead of this race from him. It all mattered because of the way they came down pit road. That's why everything got shuffled up. And Delgado is not the one leading. It's Brady. And now this is basically lap traffic all ahead of them, so it'll be tough to see where these guys go to avoid them, but hopefully the lap cars stay to the outside as Bradley and Fitzwater pit for some reason. Probably some strange strategy they're trying to pull off, but Bergwald and 31 of James Busher, these guys are lappers. They're holding up third place. Antoine Smith, Austin Theriot, and then this battle here is for 5th and 6th. Eves under Jefferson. So, Jake Jefferson again. The outside line's going to hurt him even more. He's going to fall back to about 7th now. Maybe not. Now Durant slides up as well. So a lot of shuffling going on in this field after the restart. And Delgado now doesn't have a lap car between him and Brady. And the 39 close on the 0. Be tough to see, especially, and it would hurt one of these guys if they got pushed to the outside right in front of a lapper. Be tough to see. Does the 60 move over? No. But the 39's up the track. The 59's there. The 59 gets turned by Foster. Tim Foster doesn't have patience for anyone today and dumps his second driver of the race. He's going to be warned on the radio by officials not to turn anybody else, but Tim Foster driving like a maniac, and they're going to stack up here. Hopefully they're going to keep it clean, but I don't think the leaders take the caution. Brady took the caution. Brady didn't take the caution. Delgado did. What I'm trying to say is Brady waits up for the rest of the field, and the pace car takes off as well. Driving right through the car of Matthew, but that really doesn't matter because it's a game. And you saw it live. The 59 just got hooked by the 04. No harm, no foul. But the leaders come in once again. Do we have anybody staying out? Do we have any of the leaders staying out, I should say? Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. A huge stack up here. Perez and Kari with the most notable damage as I believe they had to get the 6 card through, and Classic NR 2003 being NR 2003, that's all I have to say. But we gotta get back up. This is the battle for basically the race lead. Will Brady or Delgado get quicker service? Jefferson dives in between them, and looks like Jay might have a little damage to the back of his car, and Jay does a quick stop. Jay with pitch strategy, no tires. Jay Jefferson has just stolen the lead from both Burkhart and Delgado. Then it's Smith, Hanley, Theriot, Morris, Darnell with strategy. And then Eves, Cruz, Durand, and everybody else in order, looks like. So, big strategy here, but not being shown is the 6. Has the 6 of Dylan Jacobs fooled everyone and stayed out? Oh, looks like it. Dylan Jacobs does not come down, and he's going to take the lead at Martinsville here at the halfway mark. Noah Robb scored 13th, but I think we have to wait for everything to cycle around, so actually, there's a whole slew of guys that weren't up here before. Wait. So you got Jefferson there. You got Burkhart there. And then all these guys before Delgado? So single file restarts have really screwed this race up. And there's Smith and Hanley. Then Theriot, then Morris. We've got a bunch of lappers, like, in between all the leaders. The lights are out on the pace car, but this race right here may change the look of this series. We may have lap cars restarting on the inside and not in the order of everybody else, because this is going to really harm the outcome of this race, because you have Noah Robb, who's 13th on track. Only 12 cars are left on the lead lap after this. Wow. Only 12 cars are left on the lead lap, and they're all spread out this queue. We're going to go back green, however, on lap 54, like no weird business just took place. So Dylan Jacobs staying out is your leader. Jake Jefferson, fuel only, is second. And then our first car with 4 tires, Brady Burkhart, however, took the caution and was able to lead. I think it must have been because only 12 cars took the caution. Alright, I figured out what happened. Only 12 cars took the caution the second lap. Brady was 11 cars missed the caution. Brady took the caution. Everybody else except Brady came down pit road. The first lap pit road was technically open. And then the leaders on their first lap of caution came down. And now, because of that, they basically lapped 3/4 of this field. It looks like Brady, however, is in no hurry to catch Jefferson and Jacobs, who have basically pulled away now, as Delgado is going to have to slice and dice his way through the lappers before a guy like Antoine Smith or TJ Hanley does, but because of the part of the track where the caution came out, this entire race has been flipped upside itself. But Dylan Jacobs, someone who we did not expect. We've been talking about Austin Delgado being the driver from Urban Stewart Motorsports to be the one to watch out for today. He was obviously our pole sitter, but now Jacobs, probably our least expected driver this season, because Delgado was doing good today. Bergwald was good at Minnesota, and now it might be Jacobs' turn on pitch strategy to be the one that shines in his Taco John Stone Ridge Camaro. Has his YouTube channel Kamikaze Games as well toward the rear of his car, but Jefferson is the next car in line, and there's Brady, so they're all up there. They all have a chance, and then you got a whole slew of guys with Delgado, and just the issue with this track is there's not really a whole lot you can do, and all these guys are on fresh tires, so they're all competitive, and you can't really get past these guys because they just don't want to move out of the way. So this race has just been flipped upside itself. Take a look toward the back of the field. There's Tib Foster trying not to wreck anybody else, but we're going to go basically up, back, through it. There's Matthew Eves in 10th, but he's halfway around the track, basically off the leaders. There's Robbie Webb. He's in 26th. He's going to probably lose the points lead. Theriot's there in 7th. Webb and Perez, two guys higher up in points, are battling, but got a guy like Brandon Morris who he's in the mid-pack of the race. He's not contending for the win because he's 7 seconds off, but he's 8th. So Brandon Morris, by pure luck, could get a top 10 here as long as nothing else happens, but it's very likely knowing the wild nature of this track. And there's still no threat from Jefferson on Jacobs. The front guys, the front three, I believe, are all on worn tires. Brady's the first one with fresh tires, but it seems like tires aren't really mattering. Tires don't seem to matter here, as three in front of him just seem to keep holding their spots here as we take lap 66 of 100. 2/3 through this race, but this is big. Noah Robb, Urban Stewart, and Team Vegas are allies, and Team Vegas here for Noah Robb is going to try and pass Jay Jefferson, the second place car, to try and protect the 6 of Jacobs, who's basically a teammate to them. So basically, in a somewhat team strategy, Noah Robb is going to take Jay Jefferson out of the battle for the lead, and effectively Brady Berghardt too, if Robb can continue blocking, because Berghardt now passes his teammate at Jefferson. So there's team play all around this track currently. And speaking of teams, a team that's finally starting to rebound. They were one of the dominant teams the first 5 races of the season. Chang Racing, both their cars have lucked back into the top 10 because of this. Because of these cautions. And Cloud is going to try and get past Jefferson now. So Jay Jefferson is going to fall back. This might be the point of the race where tires are starting to matter, because Jefferson has really fallen off after being passed by Robb. And yes, now Cloud is going to get underneath him. And Brady has really closed up to the 5 and the 6. Brady now, fastest lap has changed from when we looked at the times earlier. Brady has it, the 20.320. Zachary Fitzwater, of all people, who has gotten turned into the wall, and I believe turned a second time in this race. Right, because wasn't he the car that brought out the second caution? I can't honestly remember, but yes, he has the second quickest time. Preston Emmons, someone who we really haven't seen all race long, is third quick. Take a look through the field. Where is the 24 of Preston Emmons? There's Preston. Had a fairly good day at one of his home tracks of Texas World. Emmons is a native Texan. He's running in 29th, having basically an awful day, but maybe next week. Maybe next week. Now that I think of it, next week is not Phoenix. Phoenix is race 11. For the life of me, I cannot think of race 10. Sorry about this, but Man, I feel really dumb. But, whatever. I'll tell you guys at the end of the video. I'll be sure to do that. Be sure to stick around for that then. Hit the lap 74 mark. The 6 is falling off. We missed the pass for the lead, but the 6 is staying out. Strategy is starting to weaken as he's being passed by the lappers now, and it's all Brady Burkhart. As Noah Robb said, yes, Dylan, it's time to relinquish the lead. Done your service well enough, but your tires aren't just going to hold up too much longer. And now Brady is the one leading comfortably over Jay Jefferson. Because you'd have to go 3.5 seconds back to Austin Delgado, the next guy with tires in this basically lead chunk of the field. And he's lost even more time as he's being passed by more lappers. I think Delgado and Burkhart are going to try and stretch it as long as they can and let everybody else come down. Really, another thing that we're watching for is whether or not the 6 of Jacobs comes down or not. When that will be. But our pole sitter, Austin Delgado, had the visor cam this week. Let's go for some onboard laps here as the race begins to near its conclusion. As you can almost hear the boos of the crowd as the cars are low RPM through the corners. They are not happy with this race. Been arguably boring so far as there's only about 10 cars on the lead lap and they're all spread out throughout this field, but lappers as well, just not moving out of the way of the leaders so they can battle it out. But Brady Burkhart, he's the one with the car today, as he has really pulled away. He's over 2.5 seconds as Nick Bergwald pits. I don't know why Nick Bergwald came down, but where's the 8 on track? He's 38th. If we look down the order, he's 3 laps down, so obviously he might have had an issue and had to come down for it, but as well, looks like the pitch strategy has really not been impacted too much, as still out on the track, Dylan Jacobs, but I am afraid that possibly we could see guys running out of fuel in the final laps. Could it come down to fuel mileage? Will a guy like Delgado just hanging out, putting in slower laps and lap traffic, help than Burkhart, who's running quick times and as well has 3 seconds over the next competitors? But Dylan Jacobs, I think he was banking on some extra cautions. I don't think he can make it to the end, but maybe Jay Jefferson. Maybe Jay Jefferson, who did just a stop and go, maybe he can put this to some success in the race. As coming around only 15 to go as Skylar Dixon gets on the curbing mid-corner. Skylar Dixon have an issue? Might have been having a weird line in the corner and Fitzwater grenades. That's why they're taking a weird line of cautions out as Zachary Fitzwater blows an engine. They're going to stack up. Oh, boy. They kept it clean. Looks like minimal damage on a couple guys, but looks like Fitzy's the next guy to blow up. And Jefferson and Jacobs the only 2 to pit. Will we see another situation? Oh, that's not why. Shear's got damage. Kev Shear has damage. Kev Shear went down pit road. we're going to have to see the situation on pit road before we take a look at the replay of the crash, but Jacobs is in. And going to pit road 1, there comes Jefferson. Will Jefferson take tires? Jefferson takes tires. Jacobs comes out. And we have more guys coming in. Brady's out on the track is still. Carnero's the only one to come in, but he had damage. Let's get a replay of what happened to Kev Shearer and, I believe, Zachary Fitzwater. Coming through 3 and 4, Matthew Eves all over the back of the 80. We saw it multiple times this race. Gets hooked. Shearer comes back up the track right into Fitzwater. Basically unsighted. And those two are going to have damaged cars. Shearer's out. Fitzwater got back on the track, but a tough early end of the day for the 80 once again. So it looks like as we jump right back into the action, no need to cut. The 0 of Brady Burkhart already hanging out in the lead. He has currently under yellow 6 seconds back to Antoine Smith, who, out of all this, Delgado is not made hanging out and trying to save time work. He's lost a spot to Antoine Smith. Man, what are they doing here? They've really just, they kind of bottlenecked for some reason mid-corner, but let's take a look at everybody here currently. As the pace car actually peeling off, that's why they stacked up. Brady Burkhart's your leader. A bunch of cars back in the queue is Antoine Smith, and Delgado runs into the back of him as they come to the green. Delgado's there, Hanley's there, so these three all in a row. 5th, Brandon Morris. 6th, Austin Theriot. 7th, Eric Darnell. And that's basically it. That might be factors, but the pace car pulls in. Logan Cloud trying to unlap himself over Brady. Probably too late in the race to be much of a factor. We look back at the battle for 2nd. Delgado not there. Smith trying to get by Patrick. Trying to get by the other Smith. So Antoine versus Patrick here out on track. As the lap cars toward the front go side by side. Is Brady on the outside? No. Brady says, no, Logan, you can't have your lap back, and he takes it. The WestRock 500 beginning to close down here from Martinsville. As Delgado toward the back of the 65 of Antoine Smith. Let's go on the visor cam for some late lap action. The battle for 2nd rages on. Oh, Delgado's on the high side. Hanley might be able to get under him. Doesn't look like it. No, Hanley's not under him. Delgado continues the chase on the 65. And missed the traffic. And the 65 put the lap car of the 0-1 right in between them. Smith continues blocking. Smith blocks the 39, and Antoine Smith is gonna pull away. Two Smiths right next to each other. It's a little confusing, but coming around, Brady Burkhart only has 5 more laps here at Martinsville. I don't think the fans are going to like this. They have not seen an exciting race, and Smith's on the high side. Delgado has the chance for 2nd off the corner. They were close. Is he going to have him into the corner? Antoine to the high side. Delgado underneath. Side by side across the line. Looking back, Austin Theriot has 5th from Brandon Morris. And Brandon Morris looks like he might lose 6th as well to the 14 of Darnell. As well, a little bit farther back, the 09 and the 46 were battling it out, but outside of that, there's really not too many cars left on the lead lap. Delgado got into the corner too hot. He slides up. Does the 65 have anything? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. But Antoine's got to put 2 more solid laps together and maybe get by that 39 on the last one. There's 2 to go this time by for Brady, as he has no challenges for the lead as long as the fuel holds up, which it should with that late caution. The 0 has got it. Looking back, I don't think Antoine Smith has the car under him anymore, as it's the white flag presented by Bush's Baked Beans for Brady Burkhart. Smith no longer has the tires to support the car to get by the 39. So Delgado will get second, Smith will get third, Hanley fourth, but more importantly, up at the front, coming around, he won duel number 1, and now he gets a points win. Brady Burkhart wins the WestRock 500 at Martinsville. There is the field of lap and lead lap cars basically mixed together, and Eves and Cruz go side by side across the line. Who got the spot? Eves did. And that is a very confusing and sort of a lackluster WestRock 500. It was really no contest for Brady Burkhart, who used the pitch, who was lucky enough to come down pit road at the right time and then get out before a bunch of lap cars came around. And the single file restarts really screwed this race up, as lap cars and lead lap cars were just all mixed together, and it just led to an unfortunate scenario. But here's your finishing results. The top 10 we basically went over on track. Dylan Jacobs, Noah Robb, Gabriel Duran, the only 3 cars outside of them left on the lead lap. Some guys lower off in points having good days outside of Delgado, Burkhart, and Morris, and Cruz, Dane Cruz as well. Logan Cloud, Trey Fisher, Matthew Town. Those guys were all down in points, and they get top 18s, as well as Skylar Dixon, he's there. Out of the race only was Shearer, Happelainen, and Savage. Savage did not bring out a caution. Shearer and Happelainen did. Tim Foster ended up turning 2 cars in that race. He finishes 29th, and Zachary Fitzwater, who went through it all, is 37th. And that will do it from Martinsville. We'll get you your points here in a moment. Here are your points after race number 9 of 35 in the Excel Energy Cup Series season. Robbie Webb still leads TJ Hanley and Austin Theriot. However, able to shrink that gap. I believe it was over 100 points. Now it is down to only 25. And it's only 8 between Hanley and Theriot. Antoine Smith, however, that's a farther back gap. Brady Burkhart, the driver of the day, gained 18 positions. That might be the biggest gain we've seen in the Cup Series. He sits fairly close between Perez and Savage. Savage went down 4 after his engine blew. Outside of that, the only other big position swap, Brandon Morris up 9. Those 2 are teammates. Jefferson up 6, so a big gain overall for the JJ Motorsports guys. Foster down 6, Matthew down 7, Happelainen down 9. Yari was up there after 3 good races in races 2, 3, and 4. He's down to 28th. Zachary Fitzwater down 2 spots, and after that, not too many notable changes. Darnell's able to rebound 5, and Matthew Eves has come through the field and is up to 7th. Oh, how things have changed. But Austin Delgado, he's having a very rough season. He's not cracked the 1,000-point mark yet. He's still in 38th. And that's going to do it from the WestRock 500 at Martinsville. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you race number 10. If we go to the trusty old Discord where you can see the schedule whenever you need it, it is Phoenix, the In-Town Suites 300.